Hey there, team. Hey, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Time for another edition of Training Tip Tuesday with me, Coach Coral from Team Babe Athletics. Hope everyone's week is off to a fantastic start so far. We've been getting a lot of rain recently, but I hope that has not put a damper on your training. So this week, I wanted to talk about going along with the theme of July for getting outside and experiencing the great outdoors. I wanted to talk about how you can up your run game by hitting the trails. So even though you may not live in a rural area or a place that abounds with wooded areas that you can get outside and really get into nature, you can still benefit with the things that I'm going to talk about if you're just running on a softer surface like grass. But before we get started, I have a couple real quick announcements. One, if you are an active team member, don't forget that we have another round of orders that will close on the 15th of June. So if you haven't gotten your kit or any other items that are available in the team shop, make sure that you get those submitted by the 15th, especially if you have a race coming up a little bit later in the summer, because that's about a 4 to a 6 week turnaround, and they're specially made for everyone who's ordering them. Second item of business, we are so excited to be offering a training group for Lycra and Lace sprint triathlon located here in the Tampa Bay area a little bit later this fall. So if you're interested, if you're local, or if you know of any ladies who might be interested, this is a women's only event, sorry guys. But if you know anyone or you yourself are interested, please stay tuned for additional details or just message me if you have any questions. Hey Patricia, welcome. All right, so let's get down to business. How can you benefit by running trails? Sometimes I hear athletes approach this subject with a little bit of trepidation, saying, oh, but what if I get injured? What if I don't like it? There's definitely some hesitation since it is so different from just putting your running shoes on and heading straight out the door. But hopefully with these few tips, we can get you trail ready and also convince you that this is going to be a good thing for your training. So first off, as far as the benefits go, trail running is so beneficial for taking the impact and lightening the load on your joints. Hey Karen, hey Lindsay. So by running on a softer surface, you're relieving that pounding impact on your joints, on your tendons, and it just makes it a little bit less stressful on your body, so you're going to recover more quickly. So, and especially since we were talking last week about how can we lessen the impact and stress during the summer months, especially with the heat and whatnot, this is a good way to kind of counterbalance that overall stress load that you may be experiencing during the summer months. So less impact. Another great benefit of running on trails is that it's oftentimes shaded, so perhaps a little bit cooler than running in town with all the concrete, especially this time of year. For those of us living in Florida, we know it's quite humid, quite warm. So if you are living in a warmer environment, hitting the trails can also help offset that heat issue that we were talking about last week in greater depth. So one of the other things that we often neglect, but is just as important, is the mental aspect and mental benefit of getting outside, getting in nature, and just getting a break from our daily routine. So I know a lot of us, we have very tight exactly how long it's going to take, the distance, etc. So if we can, every so often, even if it's once a month, twice a month, make that extra drive, or even if you're lucky enough to have in-town trails, but just getting out of that routine, getting into nature, a little bit of a break from traffic, your cell phone reception doesn't reach that far. It's so beneficial for your headspace to just get a little bit of disconnection. And I will say, if you're running in Oh, Patricia, that's a great question. I'll touch base on that in just a second. But if you are running in trails, even if they're in-town trails or more remote, please be sure to run with a partner. So if I'm in town, I'll take, come here, buddy, come on. I'll take Jameson with me. He's very ferocious, I promise. But definitely for the aspects of safety, do run with someone and let someone else know when you're going to be back and when you plan on being home. So as far as the more technical aspects of how to prepare for running trails, I will say you're probably not going to find a water fountain in the middle of the woods. So if you plan on being out for longer than 30 to 40 minutes, especially in the summer heat, please be sure to carry a hydration vest with you or a running water bottle. Or if you're lucky enough to have a drop point, you can drop some water. But make sure that you have ready access to some sort of hydration method. So that's going to make your run a lot more enjoyable and again, enhance recovery. As far as the shoes, Patricia just mentioned, asked about shoes. So they do make, most brands will make special shoes for off-road running. They have a bit better grip surface and are more specialized for an off-road sort of footing. So if you have a brand of shoe that you love, whether that be, well, there's plenty of good ones out there. But I would definitely talk to your local running shop or your coach and see what a good, a comparable fit, but with a trail sort of sole, what the best fit is for you. If you have any questions too, don't hesitate to give me a shout. And then probably one of the most important and most commonly asked about aspects of trail running is that there's huge change in terrain sometimes, or the footing is a little bit different. You're maneuvering around different items. It's not just you've got concrete, smooth, flat surface. So I will say from a preventive perspective, trail running is actually really, really good for your body in that it challenges different muscles that you normally wouldn't use on a road run. I don't know where most of you run, but typically it's very flat, pretty consistent surface. So you're just, plugging along, going straight forward. In trail running, you're going to need to be using more of your lateral muscles, your stabilizers, a little bit more core. And so this actually will give those forward running muscles a little bit of a break and also develop more strength and stability through your hips, through your core, and through your glutes. So I highly recommend, just from that aspect alone, to do some trail running and enhance and incorporate that into your routine. However, I will say if you are lacking in stability or you haven't been doing a whole lot of strength work, consider taking a couple weeks to do a little bit more balance work, single leg squats, side lunges, walking around barefoot, single leg balances. These sorts of drills really, really will help you when you transition from road running to trail running, because you'll of course be able to balance, maneuver, and have a bit more agility when you get onto those rougher surfaces and you're dodging around roots and all sorts of stuff. So suffice it to say, I have a very special place in my heart for trail running. Some of my best memories have been made on the trails. And I also will say, if you have kind of found yourself recently in a rut of, maybe triathlon's not sparking your world like it used to, consider breaking out and doing some off-road triathlons. Do some trail races. We've got a couple actually coming up here in the Clearwater, Tampa Bay area over the summer. I think there's still an Xterra race perhaps in northern Florida. But regardless of where you live, within an hour or two, there probably are some really unique, beautiful aspects of your area that you may not have experienced. So I encourage you to get outside, break out of your routine, and try something new, or perhaps revisit something that you haven't done in a while. So a little bit longer, I think, than I had anticipated, but I hope that this encourages you to try some trail running and incorporate that in your routine. If you have any questions about trail running or looking for some good opportunities in the Tampa Bay area, let me know. And have a great Tuesday. We'll see you either on here next time or out at Clearwater Beach. I think there's a good chance that we'll be able to swim this afternoon out at Lifeguard Stand 7. We do always appreciate Outspoken Bikes and Outspoken Multisport for offering that opportunity to everyone who's local. So have a great Tuesday, and we'll catch you again next time. Bye.